Hey everyone, welcome back to K-Talk, where we talk about all the hottest ongoing K-dramas. I'm Mel.
And I'm Uma. Hi everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode. We are chatting Mercy for None today. 7 episodes. It's streaming on Netflix. It was a very quick, easy binge. So much fun.
It was. Oh my God. Mercy for None stars Soo Ji-sub, who plays Nam Ji-joon, Joon-ho, who plays Lee Ju-un, Kil-kang, who plays Koo Bong-sen, Gong Myung, who plays Koo Jun-mo, and Choo Young-woo, who plays Lee Gyum-sun.
It's a lot of characters.
A lot of characters. And I didn't even name all of them. So,
I know.
yeah.
We just have to stick to the main ones because this is a huge cast.
It
Okay?
is.
So Mercy for None is a revenge action drama about a former gang leader who comes back because his brother is killed.
Yes.
So he is here to avenge him.
Revenge his ass off. Yeah.
Listen. And he was revenging from the get-go.
He was.
The show was so intense. Like right away, we are thrown into it and we see our main character, our male lead. Well, they're all male leads,
Yeah.
but our main character, Gi-joon.
Yeah.
Is it Gi-hoon or Gi-joon?
Gi-joon.
Gi-joon.
Oh,
So
or the brother, Gi-suk.
No, we see Gi-joon and Gi-suk in the car chit-chatting it up, and then all of a sudden, Gi-joon leaves, and he's in a fight circle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're just, 2 rival gangs are going at it, putting their best man forward,
Yeah.
and he just whoops everyone's ass.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but when I seen Ji-suk for the first time, I don't know if it was the glasses.
It was.
But first of all, he's hot as
He was.
F. But also, I didn't think he was like a badass like that. I didn't think he could fight or any of that. I don't know if it was the glasses, but then again, I was like, if he's a part of that company, you have to be savage. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Every single person can fight. So they're in this fight circle. This is how like episode 1 starts. They're fighting, and then we are thrown back to present day, and Chairman Bong-sang, I'm just gonna call him Chairman Bong-sang. I think it's Chairman Gu.
Yeah.
But he's talking to the chairman of the Ju-on group, and he's pretty much saying his son is being a total dickhead right now. So we find out his son Jun-mo is unhinged, and he's the managing director of the Bong-sang group.
Yeah.
And some managers under him had done something. I don't know. Maybe they stole from the company. I don't know. They did something wrong. But he got assassins to kind of like torture them and then ultimately kill them. So Bong-sang now is going to the chairman of the Ju-on group to say, hey, can you kind of put my son in his place? Like, I can't do it. Maybe it'll mean more coming from you to kind of check him. Which, before we continue, I just want to be like, we're meant to understand that these are 2 rival gangs, but they're very friendly, asking each other for favors.
And especially something to do with your son, which was weird.
Wouldn't you want to keep that in-house?
And also the issue was he was bringing all these foreign men as well.
Exactly, as
so he's
assassins.
Like,
it was going against their little code of conduct, I guess. But I just found it weird that, like, you guys are the leaders of 2 opposing gangs, and you're asking him to help you out with your son's issue.
Yeah, don't you have someone on your team that could have did the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I found that weird.
Which is weird. So then the chairman of Ju-on was like, cool, no problem, and sends his right-hand man, Gi-suk, to go have a little chat with Jun-mo. So now we're in Jun-mo's place, and Gi-suk's like, listen, you're doing too much. You need to stop. Gi-suk, sorry.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. You need to stop. And Jun-mo, because he's a little dickhead, starts taunting him about his brother. He's like, oh, you're one to talk to me about how to do things, and to your brother did something wrong and was ousted from the gang. He got his Achilles tendon like slashed, like, you know, can he even walk now? Does he walk with a limp? Like, he's just taunting him. Where Gi-suk at this point was like, you know what? I was just trying to, have a stern talking to.
Yeah.
But then he starts kicking his ass.
And then he slapped the hell out of him.
Kicked him too.
To the point that he had finger marks on his face.
I know. He slapped him
Like,
so hard. Slapped him. No. He slapped the stupidity right out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But what I also liked about that scene was that's when we first meet Haebum as well, which is Gi-suk's right-hand man.
He is so hot. He is, you know how I feel about him.
I know. Recently, we watched him in Way Back Love.
Yes.
Completely different character.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like I said, he's
Gentle
gonna
bestie.
he's gonna be a star.
He is going to be a star.
Yeah.
And he just looks way hotter in this. I think it's a suit.
It's a suit, yes.
Right? Because in Way Back Love, he was just always in like gym clothes, like, just
Yeah, he was a teenager,
casual
right?
clothes,
Yeah.
exactly. But this one, he was super hot, slick back hair. He was doing it. But my favorite part about that scene was when Gi-suk is slapping the shit out of Junmo, his little minions try to intervene, and with his hands in his pocket, Haebum was just kicking them.
Oh my god, that scene was so hot. I rewinded it a couple times. Like I did.
I was like, he's not even bothering to take his hands out of his pocket. Like, he just kicks him in the shin.
I'm like,
gives
okay.
him a 1-2 slap.
And that's when I was like, okay, at first I thought he was just his driver. I was like, okay, they all can fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he just casually kicked them, that was so hilarious. Like I said, and hot.
It was so good.
Yeah.
But pretty much that scene is the catalyst for this entire show. At the beginning, that's what we are
So
led.
we think.
So
Yeah.
we think. So Junmo now is humiliated in front of his little minions that Gi-suk slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he goes and hires a bunch of, I guess, runaway teenagers, some delinquents,
Yeah.
to go and like essentially kill him.
Yeah.
Right. So Gi-suk later that day is ambushed in a parking lot where he successfully fights off all the kids. I mean,
Yeah.
they're no match for him, but
Yeah, but he kicked ass. I was like,
he kicked ass. And right
Yeah.
in the beginning, we see that the leader of this little teenage runaway gang, I guess, stabs him.
yes.
And we're thinking, okay, that's what killed him.
Yes.
We fast forward right away. I mean, this show moved really fast.
It did.
episode
For 7 episodes, yeah.
Loved it. They had to get a lot of things out of the way. So then we're at his funeral. His brother is there.
His brother shows up, yes.
And briefly before the funeral, we actually got to see a tender moment between the two brothers because before Gi-suk is killed, he goes to see his brother, who now is not about that life anymore. He's not in the gang. He hasn't seen his brother in like 6 years. He's been out of the gang world for like the past 10 to 11 years. But he's
just
doing
lives in
his
a
little
campsite, just does a little thing.
in the woods. I
Yeah.
don't know what he does. Does he fish
Yeah.
for fun? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But one of the things that we do know is that he doesn't really have like a proper job or anything, because one of the things that Junmo had said to Gi-suk was, oh, like, you're supporting him. Is he still like mooching off of you? Basically saying like he has nothing else to do in this life.
Yeah.
Now that he's a ex-gang member, like he's not doing shit.
He was living a peaceful life. Like
He really was.
You know what I mean? Like,
But anyways.
after coming from that life, I feel like I would love to live how he was living. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
So the whole show kicks off now because Gi-jun comes back from his little cabin.
oh, about that, when he came to visit his brother, you can sense, and Gi-jun can sense too, there's something bothering Ji-suk.
Yes.
And it was because he was asked to be the successor.
And he didn't
was
want
kind
to.
of struggling with that.
Yeah,
you know?
and we saw that Gi-suk kind of joked around it. He's like, maybe I should just decline and give this all up and just join you in the woods.
Yeah.
Great.
I think he was probably going to do that.
I think he was
be
going to do
honest.
that
Yeah.
as well. And so now, fast forwarding, we are at his funeral, and Gi-jun is about to fuck shit up because he needs to know who's responsible for his brother's death.
Yes.
Finds out that it's Junmo.
Yeah.
And there was this deal that was made 10 years prior that the two rivals weren't going to cross the line with each other, like the Bongsang group and the Juwon group. And Junmo hiring people to kill the second, I guess, in command of the Juwon group is a big no-no.
It is.
So Gi-jun now is like, we had a rule, and whoever breaks the rule has to suffer the consequences. You got to deal with that kid.
Which is what happened to Ji-jun, which is why he broke the rules.
He did.
Yeah.
Because we find out that the chairman of the Bongsang group and chairman of the Juwon group used to be second in commands to this other guy who's just referred to
Chairman O.
Chairman O. I was going to say the chairman. But we find out that 10 years ago, it just was one big gang.
Yeah.
But the Chairman O's son gets killed. They think it's Gi-jun that did it. So that's why Gi-jun gets ousted. Before he tells him, though, this is the time to capitalize. You guys can create your own two gangs, like be the leaders of your own little group. But if we're going to do it, we got to overtake this guy now. So they kill his son. But because he crossed the line and killed his son,
yes,
he gets his...
Again, so we thought.
So we thought.
Yeah.
So he gets his Achilles cut off, which they think it's a mercy because they didn't kill him. Yeah. And they just kind of like... banished him into the woods.
Yeah.
He was like, I had to suffer the consequences of that rule, so you guys have to. But then now... the chairman of the Bongsan group and Chairman Ju-won, I'm just going to call him Chairman Ju-won at this point. Chairman Lee.
Chairman Lee and Chairman Gu.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like, I know it's my son. I really don't want to. Let's just,
yeah,
not hold my son
accountable. Which is funny because it's your son now.
Yeah, because it's your son. Like, you want to bend the rules.
Exactly.
But he was like, no, I got to avenge my brother. So he doesn't care. And he starts going after Jun-ho. And Jun-ho's dumbass has no idea how much danger he's in. He is so arrogant and so spoiled. But then
someone tells him the story of who Ji-jun is.
And how this man is deadly.
Yeah. What's his name? The person who broke it all down for him. What's his name again?
Was that the one of the executives from the Ju-won group, the one with the glasses? Was it Sung-chul?
No, it was Chun-suk. Chun-suk breaks it down for him and tells him who Ji-jun really is. And Junmo's kind of left like, yeah, okay.
I don't believe you.
And then he shows up to the safe house. Mind you, he has like 100 guys there.
I know.
Okay? For this one guy. That was such an interesting fight because it just gave me the vibe of, that whole thing that's going on online? Gorilla against 100 men? Yeah. That's the vibe they gave me. Because Ji-jun, for some reason, have you noticed, he has like superhuman strength.
He really does.
When he punches a man, it's like
flying.
He goes flying into like the next room. And I'm just like, okay, is this Thanos? Like, what is going on? Mind you, he has like, his leg is messed up. And he's doing all of this while his leg is messed up.
Can I just say something? Every time he was about to start kicking ass, okay, this man was never in a rush because of his leg. He slowly is always limping onto the scene.
Yes.
And I'm like...
the calmness about him makes him even more crazier.
It was so eerie. And it makes you even more scared of what's about to happen.
He has never raised his voice.
Not once.
Never nothing. Like, it's literally like nothing to him. And it makes sense. Like... it is. He's been killing for how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he might have taken like a nice little break, but his strength isn't
still
there.
So when he goes in him against 100 men, the scene that really like, remember that scene where this he kills a few of them, whatever, and then this super big guy chokes him and he like puts him in the air. Mm-hmm. And then he has this like machete and he keeps hacking his neck.
Like he's a tree trunk.
And he still has the grip. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? I'm like, and he's hacking and hacking, and even Ji-jun's like, what the hell? Like, this guy's not going down.
No,
and
he is not.
So, that was very brutal, and yeah.
Was that the when he infiltrates the safe house and he's watching through the cameras, right?
Yes, yeah.
If I was Jun-ho at that point, I'd be like shitting myself.
At that point, I'm like, is there not a secret out
that he could run away?
Yeah. I'm like,
no.
Or where he was sitting, there's no doors or something like that he could have locked. It was just.
And I love the fact that he thought all the 100 men that he like hired, he kept the athlete who was like a boxer or something close to him. Because that's the ultimate like last fight before he kills Jun-ho. So I'm like, even that guy doesn't look like he had like superhuman strength compared to Gi-jun.
Yeah, because if I was that guy watching the cameras, like,
I'd be like, I'm out.
I just seen this man literally kill like 100 guys.
But instead,
first of all, can I just say, you just killed almost 100 men, and I was nervous because he was literally struggling with this one guy. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? There's no way you're getting killed.
But remember, he was tired.
Yeah.
He was tired. He just like killed a whole mob of people, right?
Yeah.
So by the time he gets to this last dude...
yeah,
he's a little winded, I'm guessing. But what kills me is that athlete that Jun-ho hired just turns around. Instead of being scared, he was like, now I'm going to need $2 billion.
Yeah.
In order to defend you. I would have booked it out of there so quickly.
Yeah. Oh, he had an ego. He was arrogant as hell. Because, like I said, if I seen that and he killed those guys with ease, it was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Keep your money.
Anyways, Gi-jun finally gets to Jun-mo. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer to the head. And he falls off the second floor.
Yeah. And hits his head. And yeah.
Okay. So this entire show, obviously, like, I love the fact that it's like, there's no useless scenes. This man has a mission.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just focused on getting Jun-mo.
Yeah.
All the other stuff that's happening with the chairman, they're always communicating, where is Gi-jun? I put my son in a safe house.
Yeah.
We got to stop him. They're not understanding that, like, you can't stop this man.
Yeah.
Right? But his dad Junmo's dad, Chairman Bong-sang, is investigating and finds out that his son's not the one responsible.
Yes.
Too late, though. He's already dead.
Yeah.
Before we move on, what did we think of Jun-mo as a person, as a whole?
He's a spoiled rich kid. What can I say? He's a spoiled rich kid that's entitled. His dad knows that he's useless pretty much, that he's a hothead. He's deeply insecure. I don't think his dad would even trust him with the company, to be honest. And that was funny. That scene where when his dad confronts him and is like, why did you do it? Why did you kill Jesus? And he was like, oh, he insulted me. And the dad was like, you get insulted every day. What's one more day?
He was like, you stay embarrassing yourselves. Yeah. Nobody, like yourself, nobody takes you seriously anyways. Yeah. Why now? Why were you so triggered now and unleashed all this nonsense?
Yeah. So, like I said, he's
dying because of you.
Deeply insecure kid. He knows he will never be like his dad. He doesn't have it in him, and he knows that. And he knows everyone sees that as well.
I don't even think he wants to be like his dad. I think he likes the money, and I think the kid is confused, like how I was confused. Because one of the things I can't make sense of is, are you guys trying to be a legitimate corporation? You know, I know you started off with illegal shit. And you were a gang. But then you see some scenes where they're all sitting in a boardroom and there's a bunch of executives. Like, it looks like an actual board. And
no, apparently they all are on it. They know.
So
it's a corporation of thugs.
So did the corporation fully go legal, or are there still money laundering? Like, they're still trying to do some low-key stuff. Like, I still don't get it. Because at some points, they're still moving like a full-on street gang.
They are.
And other times, they're all suited in a boardroom.
No, I think just a corporation of thugs. Honestly, they're all in on it. They all know what's going on, and they just look legitimate. But at the end of the day, they all know what's going on.
Yeah, Jun-ho should have just been like, the violent part is not for me. I'm clearly not a thug. I'm not about this gangster life. I just want to behave like a chaebol. Like, I just want to use my dad's money.
And that's the issue. He's just not.
He should have just stayed in that lane.
Yeah.
But he's hiring assassins and doing the most.
And when he killed that poor man that owned the little batting cages, and he just lashed out, that's such deep insecurity. So, like, you know what I mean? When you take your strength out on people, like that guy was not even a threat.
No, he was not.
He was a guy that had just a little batting business. But for him to take it out on him, I was like, you are deeply insecure. You are deeply bothered, and this made you feel like you were mad.
He was sick. He was a psycho, because how did he also end up killing the one guy who kind of was like his handler?
Yes. Oh yeah, he killed him too. Yeah.
Without a second thought. Just because he was mad, he kept warning him, don't do this.
Yeah, which is his job.
Which is his job, to keep him safe. Yeah. Literally. Like, that is the hardest babysitting job ever.
Literally.
And I think he resented him because he knew he wasn't protecting him out of loyalty to him, but really loyalty to his dad, and it was a job for him. Like, he knew he was being babysat.
I really was shocked when he killed him.
I know. Jun-ho's just a big baby.
He is. Like I said, entitled, bratty, rich kid that
immoral,
nobody respects.
Unhinged.
And,
just dumb all around. Anyways, he kicks off this whole thing. Poor thing gets caught up because...
My thing is, what I want to know is, why did he want to seem cool by letting people believe that it was him that did it? Like,
I think he did believe it was him, because remember, he set the little runaway the little
Yeah,
kids. He sent the teenagers. He sent them, and he thought they rightfully did
Oh,
their
yeah.
job.
Okay. Yeah.
What we find out now, though, is let's talk about the prosecutor's son.
Yeah. Him and Joon-ho, a lot of similarities. Both, even him, he's not respected in anywhere in life. He's not respected as a prosecutor. We see at his job.
How can you respect a prosecutor whose entire dad is a gangster?
Yeah. So he's not respected at his job.
Living in the same house.
Literally. So
It's not like he cut his dad off.
Yeah, so he's not respected at his job, and he's also not respected by his dad. But with his dad,
I don't think it's not respected by his dad.
Oh, okay, yeah. Honestly, I truly believe when Chairman Lee said, "I didn't want this life for you," I truly believe that. That's why he put him in school. He made him become a prosecutor because the dad even knew, like, this, you don't want this life, and that's what he's saying is like, you don't. And I don't think also he knew he wasn't cut up for it either, to be honest. And
I think he thought in his mind, because his dad held him back from the criminal aspect of his life and wanted him to be on the righteous path and made him go to school and become a prosecutor and have nothing to do with their little gang corporation. He resented his dad for not raising him to be the next heir.
And in turn, I think he took it as, my dad thinks
I'm a
weak.
bitch.
Yeah. He thinks I'm weak. He thinks I can't handle this. And that is why. And it just blew my mind when Ji-jun said, why are you doing all of this? And that's what he said. He's like, that's it? That's why? Because daddy doesn't want you to be literally in this life?
His entire brother was killed because the prosecutor had daddy issues.
Literally.
And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I'm like, wow. Like,
and while you were a teenager, because now you're a grown man with a whole career, why did you go to school? You're a pushover yourself. You could have told your dad from day one, I don't want to live the righteous life.
I want your life. Yeah.
I want to be a gangster like you, Dad.
Yeah.
Raise me to be, your right-hand man and the next in line to take over this gang.
But again, like I said,
he was a little bitch to begin with.
That's what I mean.
And he used the fact that like, my dad won't let me. And I respect Joon-ho, actually, because at least Joon-ho was like, I'm good for nothing. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I want to follow in your footsteps.
Yeah. Whereas in Chairman Lee was like, I don't want you anywhere near
I think he loved his son.
He did.
And we find out, like, out of both the chairmans, like, he's the more passive one. Like, he wasn't really, like, I mean, he's vicious. You see him, like, stabbing people up and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think emotionally, he probably wanted to legitimize his company and maybe move away from the criminal activity.
Yeah.
He wasn't willing to take chances. And even killing Chairman O after his son was murdered was Gi-jun and the chairman of the Bongsang group, Chairman Gu, saying, this is our time, let's split everything evenly. And because of that deal, remember, Gi-jun works for Chairman Gu, but now his brother is the second in command under Chairman Lee.
Yeah. So
that was part of the deal. I don't think he ever wanted to be a gang leader.
Who?
The soft one. The chairman of the Ju-on group.
Chairman Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Chairman Lee wanted that life, and that's why he tried so hard to push his son.
He was so hell-bent on keeping his son
direction.
Away. Yeah. And like I said, I truly believe he was sincere about that he wanted to keep. And like I said, he knew from a young age that his son wasn't cut out for that. You can tell. You know your kid.
I think he knew.
Yeah, he knew. It's like, you're not built for that. You think you are, but you're not.
And I love the way that he thought he was outsmarting everyone, and then really Mr. Kim came along and used him.
Yeah.
What do we think about Mr. Kim's character?
Mr. Kim is completely unhinged. He's literally a psychopath. So he's like, I thought he was an ex-policeman. He's actually currently a dirty cop.
He is. That's the one cop that they had in their pocket. Yeah. He would let them know when investigations were happening. He would kind of like get rid of evidence. He would give them a heads up, right? So they can never be charged or locked in. And they paid him really well to do that.
Yeah.
And he always just kind of, but he was collecting all the information on them so he could kind of control them behind the scenes.
Because at any point, if they ever turned on him, it's like, I got some too. You know what I mean? You guys are all going down. So, yeah.
Exactly. So,
but he's a lunatic. He's completely unhinged. He will align himself with whoever.
And he saw the prosecutor's greed to want to be like, to have a place in his dad's company, his dad's gang, I guess. And he was like, let's do it. So we find out that he's the one who hired the assassin that actually killed Gi-suk.
Yes. And you know what I realized about the whole thing? The Nam brothers are just cut from a different cloth, and everyone sees it.
They do.
Everyone sees it, and they hate them.
Exactly.
Because they're the ones that everyone like, oh, they're the real ones. And they kind of don't want nothing to do with this stuff, to be honest.
I think it got them where it needed to go, and Gi-suk was ready to walk away and say, hey, I've kind of made my money. I'm good. Like, I want to live a peaceful life. I don't want to be the next chairman. Like, I don't want to replace, you know?
Yeah, even Jisuk, yeah, like I said, he was even having thoughts like, I don't really want this as much as you. And that's where his Gyeomsun's hate for him came too. It was like, oh my God, my dad respects this guy so much. How come he can't respect him like
and Gyeomsun was
me
also
like
mad at Gi-suk for turning it down and looking down on something that he covets.
Exactly.
He wanted to be the next leader.
And he literally said that in his last conversation. It was like,
how dare you?
How do both you and your brother just turn down this thing
something
so casually?
that I'm so hungry for, something that I want so badly. You guys think it's nothing.
Because they're actually, they're made for it. They can actually do it, but you can't.
Exactly.
And that's when Jesus was literally mind blown. It's like, you did all of this because of that. Like, crazy.
I know. And then the prosecutor finds out that Mr. Kim, the deal was for him to wait after they had killed off and brought down the Bongsan group. He was like, I'm going to do the same to my dad. Don't you worry. Because I truly want to be the leader. Because his dream is to knock down both chairmen and unite the gangs, and he'll be on top.
Yeah.
And he was like, give me a second. I'm going to handle my dad as well. But Mr. Kim jumps the gun and kills his dad.
Yes. And tries to frame Ji-jun for it. Yeah.
And then Ki-jun's like, I didn't kill your dad. But the prosecutor finds out.
Because there's a wiretap in the room.
Mm-hmm. Everything's being recorded. He finds out that Ki-jun didn't kill his dad. It was Mr. Kim. He calls him and he was like, I can't believe you're that impatient. Like, I told you to wait for me. You didn't.
At that point, Mr. Kim is shitting bricks. like damn,
so.
How did you find that out? Yeah.
He really thought he knew everything and he was controlling all of them.
Yeah. And also, back to Gyeomsun, when, like I said, they're very similar, both the sons, because just like when Jun-ho killed that poor man at the batting cages, he killed his superior at that dinner, remember?
Yes.
Just so savagely.
Just out of anger.
Out of anger.
So impulsive.
It was.
And he was
and that's what I mean. They're the same kind of psycho rich kid type of.
Yes.
Yeah. Picking on someone that's weaker than you.
Exactly.
You know?
Because they're actually the weakest in their environment.
They are.
And they resent that about themselves.
Yeah, that was so savage. I was like, oh my God. Like right there. Can we talk about Sung-chul? That little weasel. Like, he's just,
excuse me.
Even him, I think he has had a deep animosity for Ji-suk as well. Because remember, he wished he
wasn't first in line.
Yeah.
He kind of was like second. He always knew he was going to have to be like the right-hand person to whoever becomes the leader.
Yeah.
Chairman Lee never looked at him like, hey, I want you to follow in my footsteps. Like, I'm going to give you when I step down, like, you're taking over. Yeah. So he resented that Gi-suk was, even though he put in all the work and he was one of the original 5, because, you know, they all knew each other back in the day, he deeply resented him too, because he was like, well, at least let me join hands with the prosecutor's son, because he felt like the kid was easier to control than Gi-suk. And he used him to his own.
Yes. And in that situation, he knew 100% I will be the next in line.
He'll be the figurehead, but I'll really control the way he thinks and like what steps we need to take.
Yeah.
And he was so about that life. Like, I was surprised when Gi-jun showed up and after Gyeomsun killed his boss, he tells him to leave.
Yes.
And then Gi-jun shows up and he was like, do you really have to do this? Like, Sung-chul is saying this now. Yeah. Do you really have to do this? Can we just stop it now? Like, you know, and he was like, no, I'm going to see it to the end. He was like, fine, let me show you to where he is. And then stabs him.
in the back.
In the back. Oh,
yeah.
Like, just fight the man straight on at least. Like, what
he,
a little...
He couldn't. and that's all, what a little bitch move.
That was such a little bitch move.
Yeah.
But he ends up getting killed anyways.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Because do you think just one stab in the back is going to take down Ji-Joon?
This man has been shot at, okay?
Literally.
Boom. And he's still walking. At this point, I'm like...
I don't even think anyone looked at it. Like, he got shot and just keeps on going.
I'm thinking, was it like through and through? Was it more of a graze? I'm pretty sure I saw it hit his shoulder. And I'm like, we could see he's kind of like, slowing down a little bit. Yeah. But I'm thinking Gi-chun should be dead at this point.
Yeah.
But we're like, no, he's going to see it to the end.
He really did that.
He really did.
So yeah, Sang-cho was a little weasel snake, and I'm glad it happened the way it happened.
I didn't like him.
Huh?
Yeah. Listen, all of this was like so interesting to watch. My only gripe with this show was I wish before we got right into the action, we just had like maybe one full episode, or episode 1 and 2 should have been more of like giving us context and building this world, because this story is unfolding and we're understanding the reasoning as it's going along, because we know right away, yes, he's avenging his brother who was murdered. But other than that, all the people that he's facing off, I don't know how much I should hate them, who I should be rooting for, who is misunderstood. All of that kind of unfolded at the same time. I'm like, why couldn't we just kind of see everybody's character and their place in this world a little bit more of their world before all the action started? That's my only gripe.
Yeah, I don't know. I also wanted like a backstory of the brothers. I don't know. I just wanted to know their story. Like, I just want to know how they...
Why didn't they see each other for 6 years?
Yeah.
And even though he was kicked out 11 years ago, when we see that tender scene in the beginning, that moment that they haven't seen each other for years.
Yeah, they haven't.
Why is that?
Exactly. And clearly they have a great relationship. So it's not that it's a beef or anything. But I just want to also see how they got into this life. I don't know. I wanted to know.
I love context, and I love a good backstory.
So if this show was at least a good 10 episodes, it would have been perfect.
Yes.
So then we can see every relationship, maybe do like, flashbacks more of like, how they all were when they were working together, how Ji-hoon was, and just,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I also want to know, like, I know that they used to be like all in the same gang, but even the two chairmen, I want to know deeper about their relationship. Why did you feel so comfortable to go to your rival essentially and say, hey, my son's just doing too much? Like, you guys are just like regular dads talking about disciplining and raising your children. Yeah. I want to know what made them so comfortable, because Chairman Lee then finally stabs Chairman Gu.
Yeah.
So 1 minute you guys are talking about disciplining each other's children, and then the next minute you guys are like knifing each other.
Yeah.
That would have helped to know.
Yeah, me too. Like I said,
I didn't know I knew who to root for, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to know why people were getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, we kind of only knew from that one picture that Ji-hoon had. It's like, okay, all of them in the picture, like, okay, at one point you guys were close, but I wish we could see a little bit more of that.
And I also want to know the chairman of the CEO of N-Clean. He also had a very love-hate relationship with Gi-jun, where he was scared of him and would do everything that he asked. But at the same time, you see that he kind of like respected him, because he saves him.
He does.
When he got arrested for killing the chairman, right? Yeah. When Mr. Kim framed him, he actually saved him because they're about to kill him in that tunnel.
Yeah. But can we talk about even that scene? He's getting transported by the bad guys, and he is handcuffed. Mm-hmm. And he's still whooping ass inside the van. I'm like, okay.
Guns going off.
This guy's a superhero.
He is like, Superman at this point, okay? I think he was also the initial accident when he kills Jumo, and he comes back, and the first time he meets with that assassin, he gets like, his whole car gets like pushed off the bridge.
And then Hae-boom saves the day, sees him washed up ashore, and he takes him.
How did Hae-boom know he was there?
That's what I mean. I feel like Hae-boom, maybe was he tracking and following him?
Yes. Was it a plan?
Yeah.
First of all, I like the fact that like Hae-boom
he stood
loyal on business, and once he realized that Chairman Lee was not going to punish Junmo and go against Chairman Gu, he went right to Gi-jun. He was like, this is not right. And
It's
I don't
not.
care.
Yeah.
And whatever you need me to do, I'm in.
Yeah.
He was just, throughout the
He was so
entire
loyal.
show,
I loved him.
he was just showing up and handling business.
Yeah. Whatever Ji-jun wanted from him, he got it done. And I loved that. But yeah, Ji-jun was just like, he was something else.
It just so much more backstory would have helped.
But I
everything
love
else
that
was-
guy, the end clean guy. Honestly, it's like at first you're like, oh my God, he's a weirdo, whatever. But he literally came through for him a lot. Like whenever he needed information, he would actually deliver.
Did. And
Like,
when he did the final, like when he betrayed everybody else and kind of gave Gi-jun a heads up, he was supposed to leave. Then his right-hand man
betrays him.
and stabs him.
I was so shocked
I
because
did not see that coming.
I did not either, because he handled his own with the little person.
Oh my God, the car.
and
I was like, yo, this little snaky, like, cause
He knows how to fight.
He just looks so slimy, right?
Yeah.
With his little, the whole website thing that he had. And I was like, he's a wily little one.
He is. He held his own. He killed the guys. Even though he got stabbed
Two
up,
of
he
them.
still survived.
He fought two. This man was getting axed in
the
the back.
back.
Okay.
Yeah. And still was like, let me get my suitcase full of money. I gotta go.
I gotta
Like,
go. And then his friend does him
Yeah.
dirty. Again, would love to know, how long were they together? What was in it for him other than just money?
That's what I mean.
It seemed very simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean,
Because I'm sure you were getting money. You know
Thank
what I mean?
you.
But I guess he wanted that type of money.
I
guess.
Or
I
did
don't
somebody
know.
hire him?
But it kind of shows you in this kind of world, you can't trust anyone.
No, you really can't.
You really can't. And that's what it really shows, your own right-hand man that
Will turn on you.
Yeah.
Honestly, throughout the entire thing, only that Junmo's poor babysitter, I forget his name,
Chung-suk.
Chun-suk, needed more of a background story because he looked like he was very close to Gi-jun as well. And I felt like they had stayed in touch.
Yes, but he also set him up. So that's when I hated him.
Well, out of
Yeah.
protection, because everybody still feels like I still got to do what I need to do. But if I can tell you not to do this,
Yeah.
don't do it. But either way, we needed his backstory too, because we find out he has a wife, he has a daughter, that Junmo threatens that little bastard.
Yeah.
There was no line he wasn't willing to cross,
Yeah.
even for somebody he was very loyal to him.
Do you think had Junmo not killed him, do you think Ji-jun would have just let him go?
I think Junmo killing him at that point had to happen because when he saw that he killed the old man,
Yeah.
that was kind of just like in their world. Again, I don't even remember exactly what his role was. Some sort of advisor, like he just kept
That's what I'm
the
saying.
peace
No,
between
clearly,
them.
I feel like he knew them from when they were young.
Exactly.
That's the idea.
So when he killed him, I think that's when Chun-suk was about to lose his mind, and he was like, I've been trying to protect Junmo this entire time. Now I'm gonna kill him with my own bare hands."
Yeah.
And that's, I think Junmo knew like he couldn't come back from that.
Yeah.
But again, would love to know more about his story.
Yeah.
So the action, the revenging, the fight, everything was great.
It was.
I felt like we just needed.
Like I said, if it was just 10 episodes, it would have just
yeah,
covered
just so that 1 and
everything.
2 can just let us know
No.
perfectly, like
How close these people really
exactly.
were.
So
Right.
that how deep these betrayals and how hurtful they must be if we just knew how close they were to begin with.
Yeah.
Because we see Chun-suk talking to Gi-jun like they're really good friends, saying don't do this, but at the same time still feeling beholden to protect Junmo's punk ass.
Yeah. And even when you see the scenes with Chairman Lee and Ji-jun meeting at the park and they're talking,
Yes.
like you can see that there's a respect there still.
Mm-hmm.
Ji-jun still respects Chairman Lee because he doesn't want to kill him or anything. Like,
Exactly.
So yeah, at some point they were really close, I believe.
And I would have loved to see
Yeah.
more of that so I could understand, so that the betrayals could hit more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just really needed a little bit more of a story. But
Who
all of
else?
it was very exciting.
Very exciting. Like I said, it was extremely gruesome at some points. And I was like, oh, what was your favorite scene?
I told you I spoke about it already though. When we first meet Haebum and Gi-suk and they're
okay.
slapping the shit out of Junmo.
My favorite scene is last episode when Ji-jun goes to Gyeom-sun and they have this little chat. And then Gyum-sun is about to off himself. And,
oh my God.
And then Ji-Joon slices his wrist and says, "You don't get to die like
that
this.
easily.
Like this. Like offing yourself. Like,
yeah, basically. Like, I'm going to do it.
And then he puts the knife in his throat. I was like, oh my God.
That was so gruesome.
It was the slicing of the wrist was so gross. But I was like, oh my God, that was such a badass. I love that scene.
That was such a badass scene. But I was like, oh my God, it's one of those
Yeah.
scenes where I had to be like, no.
Yeah.
But
you didn't see it coming. It's just like,
but that was a really good scene too, because that's when they talked, like, what was the whole point of this? And he, and finally, like, Gumsun's like, I hate you guys, basically. Like, you guys didn't want the one thing that like, I'm doing all of this for.
And Ji-Joon's like, I'm sorry, not good enough. It's like he wanted to hear him out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, not good enough. I'm going to kill you.
Literally, I thought it was great that he literally died, like, in the same chair as his dad, in the same position. Yeah. Like, yeah, that was symbolic.
And also what was symbolic was also when Ji-Joon killed the hitman the same way he killed his brother.
Yes.
Right in the neck. I was
surprised when that mask came off how hot that assassin was.
Oh, yeah, he was hot. He was. No, we seen it. I was like, okay. Do we really want him dead?
I literally was like,
he's kind of cute. But
yeah. I wanted to survive.
No, he was hot.
He was
apparently he was Korean and Japanese.
I don't care what he was. Yeah, but when that mask came off, I was like, God damn, he's
with
fine.
the long hair, and I was like, okay,
right?
Come through him, man.
I know. I was like, choke me out, love. Yeah. Oh my God, now.
Yeah, but those two
that was
scenes,
very symbolic that they died in the same way. Literally, it was with the same type of knife as well, like perfectly right in the jugular.
And like Sung-won said, my favorite quote when he says like, to Ji-Joon, he was like, you know, in this world, the only way it ends is everyone dies, and literally everyone died.
They all died.
Yeah.
So we agree, right? Like when everything is all said and done, and Gum-sun is dead, that Gi-joon dies too, like on that park bench.
I think so.
Or wherever he was sitting, if I remember correctly.
He got shot like twice.
So many times. I was like,
the fact that he couldn't.
His battery was running low.
First of all, the fact that he even made it in the car, drove himself. That was insane. Like I said, this guy's superhuman. I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10. I was thoroughly entertained. It was, very entertaining. It revenged its ass off. But like you said, I wish there's a little bit of more context. You know, maybe gave us like 10 episodes.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Just 2 episodes of just world building would have done me. I would have been so satisfied. I give it a 9 too, because I agree with you. Like, everything else was fabulous.
It was. Yeah. The action was on point. The fighting was,
right? Even just the seeing the glimpses of like, we didn't get a backstory, but we thoroughly understood what was motivating the sons. And I thought that was the only thing that I could walk away and be like, okay, both of the kids were like super insecure.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how to go about it. But I just wanted to know how everybody's like historical relationship was.
Entertained, revenged, and the cast was fine as fuck.
Amazing.
And they're fine.
To, like all the assassins.
And they all look good. So it was an easy watch.
And also, like, I give it a 9 because I feel like Gi-suk died way too early. Like, I wanted to see more.
More scenes of him. Oh, he looked so good.
In those glasses.
Yeah. Oh, and just see him fighting more. Like, that was the hottest shit ever. When he took his glasses off and put it in his pocket, I was like, okay.
Business. He's about to get down to business.
Yeah. And he did.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was hot. But yeah, that's my
To be honest, if he stayed alive, both of us could have took over.
They could have.
If they teamed up together, oh my God, imagine.
They didn't even want to.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
If you were Ji-Joon, which death would be more satisfying for you, the most satisfying? Because for me, the way I look at it is like, are you more concerned of the people who organized the plan or the person that did it? For me, it's the hitman. After I killed him, because he's the one who literally physically killed my brother.
Yes.
You know?
I feel
Do you think
like
you'd be satisfied? Because I don't know. I think I'd be like...
No, because that scene with Gum-sung was so powerful that he wouldn't let him kill himself. I think that one. Because the assassin wouldn't have come into play if it wasn't...
Yes, I get that. Yeah.
Didn't... hire him to kill his brother.
And it's so funny that he was going to off himself because he was gonna.
His plan didn't work out.
Exactly.
Well, what else?
Yeah, literally.
He knew he didn't want to give him the satisfaction of killing him. And he was like, no, I am going to get that satisfaction. That's why that death, I feel like that means more to him. That was truly the one where he avenged his brother because he wanted to kill himself to take that away from him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that death meant more.
No, and that death was amazing. Like, I love that scene.
I did not see that wrist situation happening.
He's like, not on my watch.
Like, he's like, shh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that coming. And I was like, that was wonderful.
Yeah. So 9 out of 10 for me. Who is your SOS?
Honestly, I mean, I have to give it to
Ji-Jun, right? Like,
what else can we do?
That man, he did what he had to do.
Him and Haebum, because it was just, if it's not him, it has to be Haebum. And like, he just did what needed to be done.
Yeah.
The fact that it didn't sit right with him.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to avenge Gi-suk. That, to me, I'm going to say Haebum, because obviously it's obvious that, like, it's his brother, but the fact it was, like, he meant so much to Haebum as well.
Yeah, the loyalty was unmatched.
The loyalty was there for me. So I feel like
in the midst of all, in that whole world, that seems to be very rare.
He was the only person who was actually truly loyal, is what I'm trying to say. Like, no, everybody else kind of wavered at some point and they outright betrayed each other.
Yeah.
But Haebum was loyal to the very end to Gi-suk.
He was. I'm going to give it to Ji-Jun, like I said. He did what he had to do. And he ended that world, pretty much. Like...
Exactly. And I feel like now Haebum's going to go and just be done with it all.
Yeah. I'm happy that Haebum could just walk away.
I feel like he's the only person that gets to walk away whole.
Who else survived? Yeah.
Nobody else survived.
Literally. Like,
everybody was gone.
Yeah.
And it was like,
But I truly loved it.
It was such a fun show.
It was.
If you guys liked our review today of Mercy of None, give us a review and a rating, and let us know what you thought of Mercy for None in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week.
Oh, also, if you enjoyed Mercy for None, you should check out Worst of Evil.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You see, that got it right, because there was so much more story. I mean, all the gore and the hand-to-hand combat and the fighting and the stabbing.
But it reminded me a lot of that. So,
it really did.
If you like Mercy of None, check that out. Fantastic show.
Also, more recently, too, like, if it's straight revenge that you want to, My Name was really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
I have to check that one out.
And the villain is hot.
Ooh, definitely checking it out.
Very hot. Like, facial hair. Ooh, no, I can't even. I might do a rewatch with you.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining us. Join us next week. We are doing the wrap-up of Tastefully Yours. Tastefully Yours?
Yes.
Oh, my God, I can't wait.
I can't wait, too.
I need some romance.
I know, after this.
Thank you so much for listening. Hope everybody has a fabulous week ahead. Bye.
Bye.